Oh, here we go.
Tits.
Oh, hi everyone. So I've been told here on my platform many times by many people that modern day dating is like going to war. It's like a battlefield. Trying to find the one, or even just someone you can truly connect with, you know, that one person you could really see yourself with for the rest of your life, has become near impossible, especially with the option of online dating. There's so much choice, there's so many options, there's so much access for crazy people to set up dating profiles that picking a potential partner has become like a minefield. One wrong step and that shit'll just blow all up in your face. And I suppose the ability to access so many different people to date, you know, it's easier to find people who are looking to date. There's so many options, there's so many people to choose from. The people are going out on more dates and they're becoming more cynical, more jaded every time it doesn't work out the way they'd hoped it to. And it kind of ruins them when they go into the next date because they've collected this long list of flaws and red flags to look out for based on the experience of their long list now of dating partners. And then you've got to consider that a lot of people who go onto these dating sites aren't even looking for long-term relationships. They just want to hit it and quit it. And then you get things like being ghosted, being friend-zoned, and all these other modern-day dating terms that exist. Honestly, I'm glad I don't have to navigate the dating scene in this day and age because it sounds like more effort and more heartbreak than it's worth. So with all this option and all this potential out there for you to just go online, pick a profile, pick a face that you like the look of, it's no wonder that people are just hooking up for something more casual instead of looking for long-term relationships. And then the body count just gets higher and higher. And in my opinion, that's probably not a great thing. I'm not telling anyone what they should do or how they should live their lives. If you want to go and slut yourself out, that's your problem. I'm just saying it's not a great look. And it's probably going to have a negative effect on your potential to find a long-term partner. You know, sorry to say, but most people wouldn't find the fact that you've banged something like 20 to 30 people as a admirable quality. Even just putting the promiscuous thing aside and the fact that you might be riddled with STDs, it shows that you're not very good with relationships. And then they start thinking, well, what is it about you that your partners didn't like so much that you've gone through that many failed relationships? You see what I'm getting at? And that's where that cynicism and being jaded comes in as well. You've been in so many failed relationships that you're just looking for the worst. You've got your little red flag list. You're looking for the worst in people and you're setting yourself up for your next relationship to potentially fail as well. But where am I going with this? I recently saw this article and it was about women who are actually starting to realize that maybe they should withhold sex for a reasonable amount of time while they're dating someone, while they're getting to know them. That maybe sluzzing it up isn't the best option. And I'm thinking, okay, this is good. Women are regaining a bit of pride in themselves. They're realizing that men like the chase and that if they give it up to them straight away, that men are more likely to become less interested in them. This is good. This is a good thing. But of course, it was too good to be true because this wasn't just about not giving it up too early in a relationship for the sake of pride and a strategy to keep him interested in you for a longer amount of time, to let him get to know you before he nuts all up in you. This was about making him wait until he has spent at least $2,000 on you in dates before you give it up.
Right.
Oh my God. Why does it always come back to this? You sound like genuine prostitutes. And whatever happened to that feminist thing about men shouldn't have to pay? Now they're saying, oh no, that. Men should be paying, but they should be paying up to $2,000 on me in dates before they can access the poontang. What the fuck? So let's have a look at this article. The 2000 dating rule to avoid frightful sex syndrome from men. A frightful syndrome experienced by some men after sex has led to a fight back that means some women are now withholding it. It's a question as old as time. How long should you wait before you sleep together? It is a difficult question. In my opinion, and what I did was I waited for an amount of time that made me feel comfortable that I really knew this person and felt secure that I wasn't going to be just used and dumped. waste, like a sex trash bag. As a woman, this question is particularly tricky. Not because we're supposed to be ladies. That view died as soon as the Sex and the City girls knocked blokes over the head with the news that, yes, women enjoy getting jiggy with it as much as they do. Oh, God, who wrote this? No. It's trickier for women because thanks to podcaster Joe Rogan, we've all heard about the frightful post-nut syndrome. What the hell is penis? PNS. What is this? Do people know this? Just in case you haven't, PNS involves a man experience some sort of guilt following climax, primarily over how they achieved orgasm. This feeling could be the result of having an affair, watching pornography, or hooking up with someone they don't actually have genuine feelings for. Alright, let's take a look at this Joe Rogan clip to get a little bit more clarity on this penis syndrome. PNS syndrome.
Women will never understand post-nut syndrome. I do not think
describe
they understand
post-nut
it.
syndrome because this is something exclusive to us.
Yes.
And,
well,
like, I don't know I like you until I come,
yeah, it's true.
right?
Yeah.
You do not know,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so f***ed up. Like when women think we're boys or we're pieces of shit as dudes. It's like you don't get it. I think I like you.
Right.
Everything I'm saying to you, I believe.
Right.
And my dick is just like, yeah, we gonna find out. You know what I mean? Like, we gonna see. And there are times where you nut, and it's like, damn.
Yeah, you realize you made a mistake, especially if the woman is really into you and you're really not into her, and you're like, oh, I made an error. And then you do feel like an asshole.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. But just in case, let's hear it explained from a woman with a sexy foreign accent.
Have you heard of something that's called post-nut syndrome or post-nut clarity? It actually really exists. When a man is sexually aroused, his brain is filled with dopamine and oxytocin. And during intercourse, he's in an altered state of consciousness, similar to being drunk. He is feeling high, and this can sometimes make men think irrationally. But right after he has had sex, he goes from being completely intoxicated to a state of total sobriety. And this feeling of clarity could mean for some men that they suddenly realize they don't really like this girl so much. They just thought they did. And that's why we call it the post-nut syndrome, because this sudden feeling of clarity can result in feeling shame or embarrassment.
Interesting, so that's more of a medical explanation, but I think this guy summed it up pretty well.
What I like about you? Nothing. Now f*** off.
Basically, I've nutted in you, and now I don't want anything to do with you. And I'm going to say in most cases, it's when the girl has given it up too quick. Because like I said, men like the chase, don't they? They want something to chase. That's just built into them. And what happens when a man sets off to go hunting and he catches his prey in like 30 minutes? He's probably going to go off and try and hunt something else. Something that's a bit more of a challenge. You see where I'm going with this? You slutty McSlut-sluts. So trust me when I say, as a woman, you don't want to be jumping into bed with a guy too early only for him to get the job done, experience PNS, and then vamoosh into thin air. This isn't fucking science, lady. Just don't be a slut. It's as simple as that. Don't fucking slut yourself around and be giving your poontang up within the first days of meeting someone. Have a bit of respect for yourself. So when I heard a brand new theory about how long you should wait before having sex, I leaned in. I discovered it last weekend during a road trip listening to a great dating podcast by a woman called Tinks. Yes, fabulous name. That was like a shit-ass name to me. She was going through a list of dating non-negotiables and casually mentioned that a friend of hers has now made a point of not sleeping with a guy until he has spent at least $2,000 on dates with her. That's fucking retarded. And that's basically a flashing red flag signaling to any man out there that I am a glorified prostitute who is literally counting how much money you will pay before I'm willing to give up the vagina. $2,000. Have you ever stopped for a second and thought, maybe you're not worth $2,000? No, of course you haven't, because you think you're hot shit, don't you? You think you're the bee's fucking knees, that you're the gold standard vagina in the dating industry, and that men should be so lucky to be able to pay $2,000 or more for the privilege of dating you and waiting and paying out that long until they get some of your clam action. Oh, hey lads, check out these grade A high quality meat flap curtains.
That's grade A, top choice meat.
Well, do us a favor, love, and close those goddamn curtains. Keep those curtains shut, you slut. Bloody delusional. What the hell is wrong with these women? Yes, you read that right. A whopping $2,000. Has no one heard of the cost of living crisis? Has anyone heard of the just being a decent, not crazy bitch crisis? No longer are we basing the decision on time, aka 3 to 5 dates. We're basing it on cash, money, specifically $2,000. This is a sad, sad decline in the quality of women these days. So like I said, at first I was feeling a little outraged. Surely you can't hold a man to that. No shit. Plus, in this day and age, shouldn't we be paying for half the bill anyway? Oh, there comes the subconscious guilty feminist. But like we discussed in a previous video, you know, you may have seen it, the one I did recently on feminists saying that men should now pay for dates to make up for the gender wage gap. You know, feminists are coming full circle here. They've mind-fucked themselves into believing that it's okay for men to be patriarchal and pay for them because they're the ones who have implemented a misogynistic society where women are so repressed and held back that they don't make as much as men. So, ergo, therefore, feminism dictates that it is okay for men to pay for your shit. The mental gymnastics of victimhood. Crazy. But $2,000 on dates before you get Rudy-Nudie seemed a little extreme. At first. There's the at first. They're going to justify this. Then I let my mind wander to the couple of gents I've jumped into bed with after 3 to 5 dates, and I thought, sheesh, if I was living by that theory, I could probably have avoided a couple of mistakes. So they have to pay for your mistakes. They have to pay because you've got shithouse judgment in when to give up your vagina, when to release the clam. Oh no! She's spending all your dough. Uh-oh, Slutzilla! Yeah! Sorry. That shit's on you. They shouldn't have to pay $2,000 just because you don't know when the limitation is of being a sluzzer. The first reason why this new rule is kind of growing on me is that if a guy is willing to go on enough dates to warrant $2,000 out of pocket expense, then there's a fair chance the guy is probably invested in you. I mean, if a libido can withstand that many dates, then he's a keeper. Oh yes. It has nothing to do with how much money he has. This is just mental. Oh, here we go, in brackets. Well, unless he is super loaded and can comfortably blow $2,000 on 1 to 2 dates. In that case, I say bugger it. Jump right in. Joking. Oh, God. The woman who wrote this must be so annoying. The second reason I like this rule, and I think most importantly, is spending that amount of time together without getting distracted by nakedness might actually help us to get all those icks out of the way nice and early. Yeah, okay, that doesn't mean he has to fork out $2,000 in the process. Ever heard of going on walks, going to the park, or putting your hand into your own pocket and paying for some of these dates? Why does he have to pay $2,000? This is retarded. For example, I went on a couple of dates with a guy last year and I felt comfortable in my decision to sleep with him after 3 dates. Yeah, well, that's your fault, Slutzilla. You're making it out like he's coerced you into giving up the clam. You wanted to give up the clam, you were horny, don't put it on the guy, you wanted to give up the clam. Your clam juice was spilling out everywhere. You were frothing for it. Your clam was chomping for it so hard it sounded like a band of castanets was in your underwear. You know, like that. On the 4th date, however, I discovered he still lets his mum do his laundry for him. He's in his late 30s. Eek! I can't be dating a man-child. Oh, you really sound like an insufferable bitch. So what if his mum does his laundry for him? Maybe she likes doing his laundry for him. Maybe he can't afford to have a washing machine. Oh, but that would be a red flag for you as well, wouldn't it? Because then he wouldn't be spending $2,000 to try and wine and dine you just for the pleasure to get a piece of your nasty mutt-for-sale beef curtains. I mean, listen to yourself. You sound like a really judgmental bitch. Had I waited until we reached that $2,000 mark, I would have discovered all this long before he showed me his dad bod, and I could have walked away feeling slightly less guilty. Oh, wow. Who the hell are you? You sound like the most vain, judgmental bitch ever. You have a problem with dad bods. You can't have a little bit of a gut. This is all just becoming clear. I can understand why you've had so many failed relationships. You sound like a judgmental, intolerable cunt. Perhaps if we want to be a little less, dare I say, shallow, you are shallow. Rather than basing basing the decision off money, we could base it off a checklist instead. That checklist should include things like, what do they do for a job? AKA, do they make enough money for me? Are they a garbage man? Do they maintain basic adult responsibilities like remembering to take the rubbish out, how to do laundry? Can they cook a basic meal? Do you know how many modern day women do not do laundry or cook? And then who will also throw it in a man's face that it is their responsibility to do things like mow the lawn and take out the trash? Get over yourself. Where do they live? Have they been in jail? Okay, the jail one is fine. Have they ever had an AVO? How long ago was their last relationship? Why did they break up? Maybe it was because they met someone like you. What's their take on contraception? Yeah, something you'll only be discussing after he spent about $2,000 on you. Do you feel safe around them? Do you feel confident that they will contact you the next morning? If you can answer all of the above, then you're welcome to pass go, collect your $2,000 and feel free to show him your woo-ha. Oh my God, glorified prostitute. Collect your $2,000. I'd dump you in the jail and pick up a chance card that I might find someone not as judgmental and crazy as you. Think of all the mistakes we could avoid if we just did a little more research. Lads, best be saving those pennies. Well, that article was an incredible piece of insufferable bullshit. Can you honestly believe that? They want to save themselves, not because it's a good idea to wait a while before having sex with someone. They want to save themselves before he spends $2,000 on them. Once again, glorified prostitute and red fucking flags everywhere. Alright, thanks for watching. Remember to check me out on Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey and Twitter, X. Tits out, you slutzillas.